can't stop my vibe. Only I control my life.
The most clutch vantage point to create the vibration for my day.
Good morning.
I wanna play. I generate the energy for my day.
Good morning.
I'm in my energy bag. I'm into decoding.
Doing my Sunday show this morning. Well-being and mental health show this morning.
Signal out to everything within.
Just doing a check as we usually do before we kick off at 10 o'clock.
Only I control my life.
Committed to a yes that never knew no as an option.
Join me this morning.
Yeah, to all that makes my life vibe, happiness and freedom.
Let me know how you're doing.
Accepting what is.
I'm awake. I'm surprised I made it in this morning. I had a fantastic time with the bass show last night with Lady Smurf. Had a blast. How are you doing this morning?
I'm grateful for mobility.
Join me this morning. We're kicking off at 10 o'clock this morning.
That create worlds of possibility. See, I'm getting this more.
Just doing a sound check this morning. Let me know if you can hear me okay.
So I stick to
Good morning.
I'm the only one that has control over my daily habits.
Yep. Good morning. Just doing a sound check this morning. Join me this morning.
The most powerful thing I can say right now is. The most powerful thing I can say right now is.
Talking about our energy this morning. How are we going to allow our energy to flow this morning? That's what we're talking about. How to allow our energy to flow this morning. That's what we're talking about. And we're going to be starting at 10 in a minute. So I'm just doing a sound check this morning. Just doing a sound check this morning. Okay, so it sounds okay. So let me know how you're doing this morning. Just carried out a sound check this morning in terms of the show that's going to be kicking off at 10 a.m. And so if you're up with me, join in the conversation. I'm up really early, as usual. And I had, as I mentioned, I had such a fab time at the bass show with Sharon, Lady Smurf. I had a fabulous time. And so, yeah, we're going to be kicking off at 10 o'clock this morning. So I'm a bit early. Just doing a sound check. Just doing a sound check this morning. So join in the conversations. We're going to be kicking off at 10 o'clock. Sound check.
To create the vibration for my day.
Sound check.
I say the way I want to play.
Sound check.
I generate the energy for my day. I'm in my energy bag. I'm into decoding the self that feels.
Sound check.
To react and respond to all in life. Can nothing faze me. I control my life.
Woo.
I grip the vision in my mind.
Sound check.
Signal out to everything within me. To love what is. And let the love flow through me.
Only I control my life.
Committed to
Sound
yes,
check.
I never knew no as an option.
Woo. Just posting it before we start.
Happiness and freedom.
Sound check.
Accepting what is the play I make. In the game of vibration, I choose my happiness. It's my only choice in life.
It's the Angela Lee show this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Wake up with me this morning. Sound check. Oh.
I'm grateful for mobility, balance, nourishment, and flow.
Absolutely.
I have access to powers, vibrations that create.
Talking about how to let our energy flow this morning. Join in the conversation.
So I stick to the energy I want to create more of. I'm the only one that has control over my daily habits.
Absolutely.
I choose to not let anyone distract me from my body.
We're kicking off at 10 o'clock this morning.
The thing I can say right now is.
Join me this morning. Join me this morning. We're talking about how we're going to maintain our energy this morning. How we're going to allow our energy to flow. And we're kicking off at 10 o'clock this morning. So do share the show. If there's anyone that you know that needs to hear the show, then do post it to them this morning. Do post it to them this morning. It's Angela Lee, and we're talking about how to allow your energy to flow. We're kicking off at 10 o'clock this morning. Good morning, Rose. How are you doing? Many blessings to you. I'm surprised you're awake. Good morning to you, Rose. Many blessings to you. We're talking about how you're going to allow your energy to flow this morning. So important that we free ourselves to be ourselves, to live our potential, and to allow our energy to flow and to get rid of these energy drainers that we have surrounding our lives. We're kicking off at 10 o'clock this morning. So join in the conversations this morning.
I'm grateful for where I am and who I have become.
Join in the conversations this morning. The Angela Lee Show. How are you doing this morning? How are you doing?
And open to my dreams.
So important for us to be in tune with ourselves and our intuition. So key, so key. This morning, join me. Share the show this morning and join in the conversations this morning. We're going to have a blast this morning. Yeah. I tell you, when we listen to our intuition, it will save our lives.
My angels guiding me with love and light, reminding me that I'm protected.
It's a blessing in disguise. Good morning. That gut feeling. Intuition. People lie sometimes. Good morning. With my third eye, got a feeling in my soul, and I won't second guess myself. It's embedded in our soul. That third eye. Woo! Got to learn to trust ourselves.
I guess the people in my life back then, I simply manifested. Can't believe I let myself go the way I did, but I reconnected.
And we always do that, don't we?
With my higher self.
Talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow. It's so important for our mental health, isn't it? So important.
You know yourself, no reason why you should doubt yourself.
We shouldn't doubt ourselves. We should not doubt ourselves. I'm going to rewind that one. Pull up that one again. Here we go. It's the Angela Lee Show. Good morning. Join in the conversations this morning.
And open to my dreams.
Send me a message. Let me know how you're doing. Woo! Pay attention to your feelings this morning.
Exhale to find release. Inhale to find my peace. So no longer chasing a high.
So important, isn't it, for us to be in tune with our intuition? This morning, join me. The third eye linked to our higher self.
Reminding me that I'm protected for life. Never deceiving
intuition this morning. Let's keep our intuition alive this morning. How are you doing?
I see with my third eye, got a feeling in my soul.
Yeah, sometimes we feel things in our soul and we can't even put a finger to it, and we're thinking, why is this? Why are we feeling this? But we need to trust ourselves this morning. It's our intuition warning us, protecting us. We're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning. Join in the conversation.
I deserve respect and devotion.
Join in the conversations this morning. Let me know how you're doing.
Trust yourself. You
We've
know
got to
yourself.
trust
No
ourselves.
reason why you should doubt yourself.
Shouldn't doubt ourselves this morning. Our intuition is our guide. Angels protecting us, guiding us.
Reminding me that I'm protected.
Yep, and it protects us. That gut feeling. Intuition this morning. We're talking about how you're going to allow your energy to flow this morning. And it's a part of listening to that intuition.
Created by divine to shed light on everything you touch. Be grateful for where you are and who you have become. We're one.
That's what we're talking about this morning on the Angela Lee Show. We're talking about intuition. And Dawn is saying, good morning, Angela. Listening in and driving, not listening to higher self can be extremely painful. Absolutely. It can actually put you in some sticky situation, some really challenging situation. And as Dawn mentioned this morning, good morning, Dawn, that, it can actually be extremely painful, and I can actually resonate to that. Rose is saying she's in her bed listening to the show. Good morning to you all, Facebook listeners, to StreamYard listeners. Good morning to you all on my YouTube channel, Angela Lee. So don't forget to subscribe and click that notification for all my other YouTube videos. I had an amazing time. I had an amazing time with the Base Show last night with the amazing Lady Smurf and her team. I had a fantastic time. The energy was off the roof. Yesterday. And we're talking about how you're going to allow your energy to flow, and being at the Base Show, being with like-minded people who are actually vibing, on your level. It's so key to be with the same type of people that you can actually vibe and flow with. I'm going to play that number again. We're going to rewind that tune because we're now starting at 10 o'clock. We're just doing a tester. We're talking about listening to your inner self, your soul self. Being mindful of that third eye, that guide on the Angela Lee Show. How are you going to allow your energy to flow this morning?
Pay attention to your feelings, intuition.
Very important that we're mindful and that we pay attention to our feelings. It's linked. It's linked this morning. And it's our mental health and well-being show this morning. And so just share the show. Anyone that you think that needs to hear this show, just share it this morning. Talking about how we're going to protect and allow our energy to flow this morning. Good morning. Protected for life by our intuition this morning. Protected. If we listen, we will be protected.
People lie sometimes, I see it with my third eye, got a feeling in my soul.
And sometimes we meet people and we don't know why we have this feeling that there's something wrong, but it's our intuition, that gut feeling pulling at us and saying there's something going on there.
I guess the people in my life back then I simply manifested.
Good morning to you this morning.
Go the way I did, but I reconnected with my higher self.
Good morning.
Focused on my growth and my mental health.
Absolutely. We're focusing on our health, on our mental health this morning.
There's no replication.
We can't compromise.
Trust yourself.
We've got to trust ourselves this morning.
You should doubt yourself.
Shouldn't doubt yourself. Should not doubt yourself this morning.
Blessing in disguise, my angels
and it protects us. It protects us. It's our guide.
reminding me that I'm protected for life.
Absolutely, we're protected for life. That gut feeling. Intuition. We're talking about how you're going to protect your energy flow this morning. Join in the conversation this morning.
You are a source of love, created by divine to shed light on everything you touch. Be grateful.
We are
for
a divine
where
light
you are
this
and who
morning.
You have become.
Be grateful for who you have become this morning. It's the Angela Lee Show. Welcome this morning to the show this morning. Many blessings to those that are listening on the airways. Some of us have been out raving last night and we're sort of like half asleep, but I'm here wide awake this morning on the Angela Lee Show. And as I mentioned, we're talking about how are we going to increase our energy? How are we going to allow our energy to flow this morning? That's what we're talking about on the Angela Lee Show this morning. How are we going to allow our energy to flow so that we can become our true, authentic self? And if you're waking up with me this morning, we're streaming live on Facebook Live. We're streaming live on my YouTube channel, Angela Lee. And we're also streaming live on my page, my Alec business page. That's Angela Lee, Transformation and Information Coach. And we're also streaming live, as I mentioned, on Altec FM. And I'll share the link with you when we finish the show this morning. And as usual, good morning, Anise. How you doing? Many blessings. We're going to be doing our positive affirmations this morning before we start, as we usually do. And so if you've got a glass of water, if you're sitting down or lying down, just sip on your glass of water this morning. And let's find a nice place where we can sit. If you're in bed, we can do it lying down as well. Position yourself. We're going to do our positive affirmations this morning. It's so important for us to do our positive affirmations this morning. And we're going to be doing our affirmations in terms of how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning. And so let's go. Let's go. Are you ready to do your positive affirmations with me this morning? Are you ready to do your positive affirmations with me this morning? Okay, here we go. Here we go. And before we do our positive affirmations, let's take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath in. Inhale for the count of 3 and exhale. Again, let's inhale for the count of 3, 2 and 3, and let's exhale. And let's inhale one more time for the count of 3. And exhale. And as we're exhaling, let's release all that toxic, bad energy that we've probably picked up over the weekend or over the week. Let's do it one more time. Let's release all that toxic energy. Let's inhale again for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's release all that toxin, all that energy, Sometimes when we're working with people or we're on the tube, we're traveling, we can pick up on some energy, I tell you. And it's important for us to clear our energy this morning. Okay, so let's sit down, or whether you're lying down, let's do our affirmations this morning. Here we go. I am well connected to my own energy source and the infinite source of energy. I let go of things and persons in love that no longer serve me. I set healthy boundaries. It's so important for us to set healthy boundaries. And happy to say no without an apology. Happy to say no without an apology. I will no longer second guess my feelings, my gut feelings. I will trust myself and my intuition. I call back energies that no longer serve me. I am no longer a caretaker. I focus my energies on only those who see me and respect me. I am learning how to interpret people's energies. I attract and connect to high energy people. I surround myself with strong, mature individuals that see my worth and are there to support. I am my own validation. I have wisdom to see through agendas to protect my emotional well-being. I easily increase my energy levels by thinking energizing thoughts. I charge my energy levels with continual optimism. I love myself. I deserve the best in life. Everything is actually working out for me. So this morning we're saying our positive affirmations. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm just going to play this lovely
all my power and all my energy back
number.
to me with divine care.
Energy budget.
Whatever is
We've got to set a budget on our energy this morning.
Get your own. I'm emotionally gifted.
Good morning.
That gift with wisdom and firmness. My openness is emotionally generous.
And he's just saying powerful. She's going to be here with us for a short time. But this has been very effective. Thanks. Okay, you can catch up on the replay. Many blessings, Anise. See you soon.
I have the right to tell people what they don't want to hear in the name of.
Absolutely.
Boundaries. I also want to exhaust myself on people who
setting appropriate boundaries this morning.
And attachment to make everyone happy with me.
Energy budget. We need to budget our energies.
I know now people pleasing isn't love, but it is fear. I am magnificent at releasing expired emotional ties to how I structure my life with people, knowledge, money.
Talking about energy budget this morning. Energy budget.
I'm free from over-explaining and justifying my choices. My cutoffs aren't personal, they're spiritual. Anyways, I call back all energy that belongs to me.
Very important for us to call back the energies that no longer belong to us this morning. Call back the energies and protect our energies this morning.
Tell me who I should share my intimate energy with. I focus my energy on who sees me and skillfully respects me. Not those who are skilled in choosing their false stories about me.
Very important for us to protect our energies this morning and allow our energies to flow. We need to be very choosy who we share our emotional energy with. Very important that we're choosy, we're picky, because our energy is so important. Good morning, it's Angela Lee. You're tuned into the Spiritual and Wellbeing Show this morning. We're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning. It's a part of our emotional health. We need to set healthy boundaries to protect our mental health this morning and to allow our energies to flow. Energy budget, that's the tune this morning. Tony Jones, if you like the tune. Energy budget. My God, we need to set a budget on our energy.
I'm learning how to interpret people's energy.
Yes, very important that we learn how to interpret people's energy. We're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning.
Social media, text,
even on social media.
Entertainment and thinking. I attract connections where my love languages are valued, explored, and met.
So important for us to attract like-minded people this morning. In 2022.
I surround myself with emotionally mature allies that are strong when I am vulnerable. I vow that I play nice just to be named nice. My circle got
We're not people pleasers. We're pleasing self this morning.
Because I have no clue what's here. But god dang it, I'm gonna get curious.
Energy budget. We're going to set a budget on these people that drain, some people that drain our energy. We need to set an energy budget this morning. Putting it out there this morning on the show. Energy budget. It's the Angela Lee Show. Welcome to the show this morning.
Misunderstood. I know I'm not being distant. I am now gravitating.
Welcome to the show this morning.
I'm picky with who I allow into my inner core.
Very picky. Who we allow in our inner circles are.
To enrich how I relate and invite others to relating deeper, even if parts of me are still tender. I am surrounded only by others.
Energy budget this morning. We got to be very careful who we share our emotional energy with this morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. I love that tune. We need to set a budget on our energy this morning. That's what we're talking about. How are we going to allow our energy to flow? And so we're starting the show this morning, and let's look at what is energy. And so energy is a noun, and it means the strength and the vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. And it changes in the levels of vitamins that can actually affect your energy and your well-being. And as I mentioned, it's our well-being show this morning, and we're talking about how we're going to maintain our energy and how we're going to allow it to flow, and particularly as it's a part of our mental health and our well-being. And so energy, the most important part of the human body. It's the latent divine energy which lies between our skins to our inner consciousness, the potential energy, or the Shakti, it's called the Shakti. It comprises of the mind, the intellect, the emotion, the vital senses, consciousness, and all our senses. So our energy is so sacred, so unique. I'm going to actually describe the links again. It's actually linked. It's called the Shakti, and it's actually Latin, and it's comprises of the mind, the intellect, the emotions, the vital senses, our consciousness, and all our other senses. And so it's so important that we safeguard and we protect our energy, because it's so interlinked to our divine energy. It's so interlinked in terms of our makeup as human beings. And so energy is a part of your emotions, your feelings. What we think of as emotion is the experience of energy moving through our body. This is generally felt in sensations or contractions, such as tensions or such as calm. And sometimes, when we're overly stressed, or when we link up with people that are not on our same, on a similar vibration, sometimes we get these sensations, we get these contractions, and we get this tension in our body, and it gives us a sense of either fear or flight, or a level of calm. Sometimes you can meet some lovely people. I met some amazing people last night on the Base Show, and their energy was just totally off the roof. And I sense that high vibrational connection. And sometimes we can meet people and we don't understand, we can't put our finger on it, but we don't feel a sense of calm, or we do feel a sense of high energy vibe. And so energy is a part of our emotional experience, and it's moving through our body. Now, the Latin derivative for the word emotion is immortia, and it literally means energy in motion, motion. And so in itself, emotional energy is actually neutral. Emotional energy is actually neutral. Now, there are 4 components of our emotions, and we're going to be looking at them in greater depth on the show this morning, greater depth on the show this morning. So good morning to all those that are listening on social media platforms, on my YouTube channel, Angela Lee, on my Altec business page, that's Angela Lee, transformational and informational coach. If there's anyone that you know that needs to listen to the show this morning, then do feel free to share it. Now, the wholesome picture of emotions include a combination of our cognition, cognitive, bodily experience, our limbic, our preconscious experience, and even action. So let's take a closer look at these four components in terms of our emotions. And so our emotions is a complex psychological state that involves three distinctive components. It's subjective in terms of the experience that we experience, psychological in terms of our responses, such as framings and our schemas and how we perceive things, our perception. And we talked a lot about that on the Bay Show last night. And our behavioral expressions and our responses. And as I mentioned, it impacts on bodily sensations and contractions. And it also contributes to triggers and physical health symptoms. And sometimes, if we're overly stressed and if we are repressing our emotions, it can actually cause bodily symptoms that blocks our energy. And I was talking to someone quite recently and sharing an experience of hip pain, and how sometimes you can experience some pains in your hip. And, I was quite amazed when I went to further investigate the link in terms of a chakra block. It was your sacral chakra that was actually interlinked with your hip. And the symptoms were obviously your pains in your hip was attributed to feelings of abandonment, feelings of isolation, feelings of rejection, feelings of loneliness. And you can see how our emotions, in terms of those bodily experiences, are intrinsically linked to our chakras, particularly the sacral chakra. And it actually confirms how our energy can be impacted by those bodily sensations. And so emotions can actually create triggers. And I remembered having an experience last year where I was confronted with a situation that caused me to have a trigger. And the trigger was my intuition warning me that actually this situation that I was in, this circumstances was unsafe. My intuition was actually pulling at me, tugging at me to say, get out of this situation. And sometimes we ignore those sensations that we get. And as Dawn mentioned, as she said, she's listening, driving, that it's to our detriment. It's quite dangerous. It can be quite painful if we don't listen to our intuition. And so emotions are also connected to thoughts and memories, cognitive processes, thinking. It plays an important role in terms of interpreting events. And as I mentioned, it's linked to our schemas, how we frame things. And it triggers an emotional response. And I mentioned that in the first place. And so if you can imagine you are walking down a trail and you think that you saw a snake, that can actually trigger an emotional response. So this morning, we're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning, but we're looking into depth in terms of what emotions are, because our emotions are intrinsically linked to our energy levels. And so the area of the brain known as the limbic system is highly involved in our emotions. One structure in the limbic system, called the amygdala, plays a particular important role in terms of regulating our emotions. And so our brains, that limbic system is connected to our emotions in terms of how we regulate it. And researchers actually believe that sensory information about emotion evoking events moves along two paths of the brain. And can you see how detrimental it is for us to be able to regulate our emotions, because it's linked to our brains, it's linked to how our brains regulate our emotions. And so it's crucial that we protect our energy and our emotions. And I remember, years ago, my parents used to say, or our parents used to frequently say that, my spirit doesn't actually take this person, and we don't know what it is. And what they're literally saying in essence is that I'm not feeling a positive energy from that particular person. And it is often said that a person's energy will tell you a lot about them before they even start speaking. And at times, you cannot put your finger on it, but your intuition is actually telling you that there's something not quite right. Your third eye, that is there to ultimately guide us and keep us safe, gives us that tuck. Because sometimes we get that pull and that tuck in our gut. We don't know what it is. We have this feeling that we're not feeling the energy of this person, or we're not feeling the situation, and we get this tuck in our stomach. Many blessings to you, Marcia Riggs. Many blessings to you. And we get this tuck in our stomach, and we don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. But it's like a warning sign, and it's saying to us, you know what? We need to remove ourselves from that situation. We need to remove ourselves from that situation. And so this morning we're talking about how we can allow our energy to flow on the Angela Lee Show. And we're streaming live on Facebook Live, social media platforms, on my YouTube channel, Angela Lee. So don't forget to subscribe. And also on my business page, Altec, Angela Lee, transformational and empowerment coach. I'm talking as a life coach practitioner. And as I mentioned on many shows, you know that I'm actually doing my master's in psychology and mental health, not only to help myself, but to help my clients, to help my students. And it's so important that we understand our emotions so that we can find this sense of balance so that our energy will be able to flow. And so, however, there are many times when we ignore these warnings to our detriment, and we find ourselves in challenging situations, challenging experiences. And often we say to ourselves, if only we had listened, then we would have avoided these dangerous situations. And I've been there. I've been there where I've ignored these signals. But I'm happy to say that I am learning every day to be more intuitive, to be more alert, to be more connected to my intuition. And as we, move in our own journeys, particularly in 2022, it's so important that we make the right choices, the right decisions, the right connections. Sometimes we need to sort of, reassess our inner circle, our outer circle, our families. And we were talking on the Base Show last night that sometimes our families even drain our energies, and we need to set healthy boundaries even with our family members, because there are a lot of energy drainers out there this morning. And so this morning we're talking about how we can allow our energy to flow. I'm going to play a number for you as we carry on the conversation.
For myself and my family. To the States, had a dream.
Many blessings to you, Marcia Griggs. Many blessings to you. Long time, sister. We're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning. Many blessings, Rose. Rose was on the Base Show. So if you haven't seen the Base Show with the amazing Lady Smurf, it's on my Facebook page, it's on the Base Show page. Tune in. It's an amazing high energy show. I had so much fun So much fun. And we were talking about similar stuff in terms of energy. You can watch the interview on my page and on the Base Show page, or on Lady Smurf's page. This morning we're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow. This morning on the Angela Lee Show. Send me your comments this morning. Share any experiences that you have this morning. We're having a conversation this morning. We're having a conversation this morning. We're having a conversation this morning. So important for us to allow our energy to connect. To connect to the right people. The university is on, the universe, not university, the universe is on our side this morning. Take in the lyrics this morning.
Let the universe take a lead, I'm so relieved and so assured there's no one in this world that can be you, so you do you the best till you leave. To me, creativity is limitless.
Blessings, Marcia. Blessings. Oh, blessings.
Boundless.
Marcia is saying that she's popped on the timeline this morning and she's saying the discussion is potent to her. What you are saying is 100% true. Many blessings to you, Marcia. Absolutely. We need to safeguard our energy. We need to set a budget on our energy in terms of the people that we link with, in terms of relationships, in terms of friendships, in terms of family, in terms of our work life. If we're going to at all begin to safeguard our mental health. And as I mentioned, I'm talking from experience. I had a dangerous experience a few years ago where, I was on a low energy, going through a lot of crap. And because I was on that low energy vibe, guess what? The laws of attraction dictates that, whatever vibe, whatever level you're vibrating on, you're going to attract that same vibrated type of people. And I was a couple of years ago really sort of vibing on a low energy, and I attracted a dangerous situation that I'm so thankful for the universe that I've actually got out of it, managed to just escape. And so it's vital that we protect our energy, and that we are listening to 444, that intuition, that guide, that tuck, that pull that we often get in our gut saying danger sign, that we don't go there, that we don't invite certain energies, in our inner circle, because it's going to be catastrophic. It can actually cost our lives. It can cost our mental health. It can cost us our well-being. It can cost you financially. We're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning. And Marcia is saying that's where she's at right now this morning. She's saying that's where she's at this morning. Rose is saying, I work with family and I'm drained, so drained. Yeah, sometimes we play the role as caretaker, rescuer, enabler, always sort of, going the extra mile, as it were. I used to play that role, caretaker, going the extra mile and not taking care of myself. Not taking care of myself. Marcia is saying, absolutely, not taking care of myself. And Rose is saying that she started to free herself in 2022. And it's so vital that we free ourselves from this caretaker role, this rescuer role, this enabler role, because as far as it is that if you are over 18, you are responsible for your well-being. You are responsible for taking care of your traumas, your past life traumas. You're responsible for taking care of your triggers. You need to get out there and find the help that you need. Get the support. There's counseling out there. There's coaches out there. I mean, I'm a life coach. You can reach out to me. There is so much resources out there. You've got no excuse. You have got no excuse. Marcia's saying, me too. I'm flat out tired of people. 2022 is my year. Absolutely. I got tired years ago, Marcia. I got tired and I just locked off. I got off social media. I locked off social media and, just locked off certain people. And then, it was only in 2020 that I actually went back on social media because I had a near hit. A near hit. It was a dangerous situation. I allowed myself to get in because I was vibing on a low energy, vibing. And so our vibrations are so important. We have to allow our energy to flow. And a part of allowing our energy to flow is self-care and self-love. We've got to put ourselves first. On the Baseline show last night, I was talking about how important it is for us to be selfish, to be rationally selfish, to actually take care of ourselves first and foremost before we take care of everyone else. And I remembered Lady Smurf was actually sharing, we were sharing on the show last night that, it's when we set those healthy boundaries. And I remember setting some boundaries with my family and friends, and they started to have a tantrum like a child. And I remembered Lady Smurf was also saying that she was also mentioning that when she set boundaries with her family, they got nasty. We saw another side to them. And sometimes it doesn't matter, even if it's blood related. We have to safeguard our mental health. It's paramount. It's paramount, because if we don't, we're going to reach burnout. And when we reach burnout, no one's going to be there for us. I remember 10 years ago, I reached burnt out. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I was diagnosed with depression, chronic insomnia. I had panic attacks 10 years ago. And because I reached burnout, because I was, as my counselor said back then, staying too strong for too long, carrying too much people. I mean, Jesus, I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not God. I can't carry you. If you're an adult, if you're over 18, you are responsible for your choices. You're responsible for your decisions. You're responsible for your traumas. And you cannot continue to play the blame game, because sometimes our parents, they did the best that they could with the resources that they could. And we got to move away and find the necessary healing to move on. We need to find the necessary healings for ourselves and stop playing and stop tripping and blaming people from the past lives for, situations that you find yourself in. They did their best. I'm a parent. Maybe I made poor choices. Maybe I made wrong decisions, but I did the best that I could with the resources that I had at the time. So you know what? Just move on. Because when you don't move on, you're going to block your own energy and you're going to cause sickness on yourself, because unforgiveness causes sickness. And I just mentioned that, there was someone experiencing hip pains. And hip pains was actually linked to the sacral chakra. It was actually linked to the sacral chakra. And when I went to investigate the links between hip and the sacral chakra, it had to do with that person feeling the sense of loneliness, feeling the sense of isolation, feeling the sense of abandonment and rejection. And so they started to have these hip pain sensations because of it. And so if you do not safeguard your energy, you're going to start to have bodily sensations, as we spoke in the show, and it's going to cause symptoms and injury to you. And so sometimes we just have to, be rationally selfish and let these people go. Let them go. I mean, I'm talking from experience, and I'm gonna be doing a book this year, and you're gonna hear about my experience. Because sometimes when I'm talking, people thinking I'm talking through my rear end. I'm talking from experience, and you will be surprised what many people like myself are going through. Sometimes we don't put all our business out there on social media, but I tell you, we are going through hell and high water. And the fact that we're still here, still sane, it's only by the grace of the Most High, because people and our families, they push us to the brink. Not even sort of caring that we're actually human beings here, that we're prone to make the wrong choices and failures like them. And you know what the saying goes, those that are so readily to point the finger are usually those people that pretend that they're what? Jesus Christ? Hey? And Afra is saying, good morning to you, Afra. She's saying, yes, it is true. Afra is saying, yes, the body tells some stories. I can tell you, I remember, as I mentioned, I had a brain tumor 10 years ago, and I even had a lump of fat growing on my back. I can show you the scars where they had to cut out because, my body was growing lumps because of the stress that I was enduring. And so it's not worth it. I decided, as I mentioned on the Baseline show, and if you haven't seen that show, I'm plugging it for Lady Smurf. Go and listen to that show, because I actually spoke about my experience on the Baseline show, and I had a blast last night. It was amazing, and it's amazing, and it's a good thing to support each other in the community and stop this hating. We're all on the same boat. And I supported Lady Smurf, supported me last night, and I supported her in terms of her show. And we helped each other, sisters together in love, helping each other. Stop the hating. We're all on the same journey here. Everyone's going through a lot. And so you don't know the levels of your behavior. The impact is enormous. And you know what I decided to, along with many people in 2022, I decided years ago to let them go. Even if it's my family, I'm letting you go. Because guess what? You're not going to kill me before my time. So if you've got issues with yourself, friends and family, and you're not prepared to sort it out, or to seek counseling, seek help, seek resources, there's too much resources out there for you to stay stuck. Marcia Riggs is saying, we must learn to listen to our body feelings. We are talking 100% truth. And that's what Marcia Riggs is saying this morning. Absolutely. We must learn to listen to our bodies. I decided, I had to do like a scale way here. I was just saying, okay, family or my health, family or my mental health, family or early death. I'm just talking, my Jamaican accent is coming out there. Debt. My family ain't going to kill me. Then I'm not going to allow them to cause me to die before my time, because the Father said he's got long life he's going to satisfy me with. I shall not die, but I shall live and fulfill my purpose in life. And I'm not going to allow my friends, nor relationships or friendships or family members to deter me or to impact on my well-being. So if I have to cut you off or love you from a distance, then guess what? That's what I have to do. And that's what I have decided to do. Siblings, children, family members. We're talking about the whole holistic picture of family. Because sometimes, these people who are low energy, dark energy, they are pessimistic and they remain stuck, and they want to drain you and drag you into their low vibration so that they can totally mess you up. Rose is saying lots of covert bullying with family. Absolutely. Covert bullying. And it's like, okay, I was told, even by a family member, if I don't do this, then guess what? They're not going to be doing this. I said, okay, cool. Bye. Laters. No one's going to blackmail me. Friends, family, or foe. I'm too grown for that. I've been through too much sugar for that. And so guess what? If you don't like me where I am right now, and where we are in life is because of the heap of sugar that we've been through in the past, and then you're seeing us now, you're saying, oh, you don't like what you see. Tough luck. I like myself. I love myself. So you either like me or you just keep it moving, because I'm not here to live a sacrificial lamb life for nobody, not at my health expense. And Marcia Rigg is saying that is it, period. Sad but true. Absolutely. Because you know what? A lot of us in our community, we have toxic family members, that they're just caught up with their own sugar. And we're not responsible to caretake them. I was doing it. We're not responsible to be caretaking them, to enable them, because you know what? I tapped into resources. I bought books, I bought tapes. There's YouTube videos. If they don't want to see a counselor, they can go and tap into YouTube. There's lots of psychotherapists out there, you know, putting out their therapy and their help. And so people got no excuse. No excuse. Marcia's saying, I love myself too much. Absolutely. It's about self-love. Dawn is saying, well said. Afro is also saying, I am feeling you, sis. No more sacrificial lamb. Absolutely. We're not Jesus Christ. I'm not sacrificing my mental health, my state of mental health for nobody. And so what I've decided to do with a lot of people is look after me, look after more. So I'm going to the gym. I'm doing yoga. I'm enjoying myself. I'm going out. I'm raving. I'm having fun because I've been through too much sugar in my life. It's my time now. My time now. I've raised my children. You know, I've brought them through to university. Yeah. I've got my younger two. My last one is still at sixth form. I've got my youngest daughter. She's at uni. She just started uni. I've done my best. I've given you that platform so that you can get a university qualification. Then guess what? I've done my job. Stop blaming me for sugar. Go and seek therapy if you need therapy. You're now an adult. And some of our grown children, they've got kids. Which is our grandkids. And they're carrying on like little picnic. And as therapists call them, child adults. They've got child responsibility. They've got adult responsibility, but they haven't grown. They're not grown. Child adults. They think that because they've got two little breasts, or they've had kids, them thinks that them a big man and big woman, and the way they talk to you, so disrespectful, like you and them are size, like you and them on the same platform. So I've got to make my Jamaican accent come out, because this is just foolishness. You know, the time of respecting your elders is long gone. This generation that we're dealing with, the biblical Bible said there's a generation of vipers. No respect for their elders. They will talk to you, and in fact, they would want to actually fight you. They want to fight you. You know, these young people, they think that they know it all. And you know what? It's a generation of vipers. They've forgotten themselves. And a part of listening to your intuition, is actually being in tune with yourself. Being in tune with yourself. That's what it's all about. Marcia's saying, me too, trust me. I don't know why I'm doing the show this morning. I was on the Bay Show, but I was so propelled to do the show this morning. And I'm so glad that many people on the thread are joining me. And Marcia's saying, me too, trust me. Trust, you know, I'm talking the truth. Do you know what? If it wasn't for the grace of God alone, I would have lost my mind long time ago. And I decided that, you know what? Time to look after more. Time to look after myself. So, Marcia, if you want to link up to meet up to do things together, hook me up, sister. It's our time now. It's our time now. We've done our bit. We've done our bit. And so this morning we're talking about intuition. We're talking about how we can allow our energy to flow. Marcia saying, I needed this show right now as confirmation to what I'm already know. Excellent. The spirit helps us to connect with like-minded people, and the spirit speaks truth. That's what we're talking about this morning. We're talking about how we're going to allow our energy to flow this morning. And Marcia saying, yes, sis, I will get round to linking with you. Anytime you want to link with me, Marcia, you got my social medias, and I think you might still have my own number. Link up, sister, because guess what? In a time like this, we need to link up with people that's actually going to be supporting us. People that are actually, you know, going to be not hating on us. People that actually are on our vibe, that's on our level of thinking. That's what we need to be linking up with this morning. And so, as I mentioned, sometimes we have people in our lives that have complex emotions. And unlike basic emotions, complex emotions vary in very appearances across people and cultures. Some examples of complex emotions include grief, jealousy, and regret. Complex emotions are made up of two or basic emotions, for example, fear, anger, disgust, and it's also made up of a complex emotion such as hate. And there's many people that's got some toxic energy. They hate, and they're on a dark energy thing. And what life dictates, the law of attraction dictates, is that whatever you put out there is coming back to you. And so if you've got a lot of hate and you're putting out a lot of hate energy out there, guess what? It's going to come back to you, and it's going to smack you right back in your face. That's what's going to happen. It's going to come back and it's going to smack you right back in your face. If you are on a hating thing, it's going to come back and it's going to smack you back in your face. That's what's going to happen. And so it's so important that we safeguard our energy this morning, because guess what? Whatever you put out is coming back. Life is a cycle. And that's why I don't really worry myself, I don't worry myself with all the haters out there, family members included, because guess what? Whatever you put out is coming back to you. Yeah? If you put out goodness is coming back to you. And there is a bit, in biblically where it says, the Father will spread a table before you in the presence of your enemies. That's what he'll do. Yeah? He will spread a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And they will see your table spread, because you know what? The universe, the Creator, is blessing me. No matter what you do, he is blessing me. And guess what? My life is good. I'm at peace. My home is at peace. I'm at peace. I've let go of toxic friends, toxic relationships, toxic family members, toxic colleagues. My inner circle is small and my life is quite peaceful. I'm happy. I'm having a blast. Because the Father God, he will set a table before you in the presence of your enemies, and they will see you eating on it. And then by this time, they will be tripping. They will be tripping and wondering, oh God, why is all this happening to me? This is all happening to you because you're toxic and you have not sorted out your unfinished business of your past, which is your responsibility. Stop playing the blame game. And so, what is the energy? What is the highest form of energy? Let's ask ourselves, what is the highest form of energy? Before we're going to go and tap into what is the higher form of energy, I'm actually going to play this number. I'm dedicating this to Marcia Riggs. Marcia Riggs, listen to the lyrics, sister. Love, absolutely, love. Love is the highest form of energy.
I know it's just a restart. No, nothing in the stone.
Listen to the lyrics. We're talking about self-love. We're talking about love. We're talking about how you're going to raise your energy. And how we do this is by getting rid of all these toxic drainers, energy drainers. Listen to the lyrics.
I do exactly what I want. I do exactly what I want.
I do exactly what I want.
I usually don't. I don't hesitate.
Me, I do exactly what I want. My time now. Our time now. Wild and free. Wild and free.
Even if things feel like a mess, I'm still on the right path. Even if I'm overwhelmed, still get my messages from souls doing things with an open heart. So wild and free, wild and free, wild and free.
The source is still speaking to me, even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, even though I've made wrong choices. Source is still speaking to me, and I'm wild and I'm free. I don't need no validation from no one out there. We don't need to validate ourselves from no one. We know who we are, and the creator and the universe knows who we are. We don't need to validate ourselves. Move with the wind. We move with the wind. We move with the wind, and we're wild and free. We're wild and free. This morning, we're talking about how we're going to raise our energy levels. And a part of raising our energy levels is getting rid of toxic people. Last year, I had to do like a whole clearance. A whole clearance last year. Friends, family, associates. I did a clearance. 2021 was a clearance. Clearance 2021. Afra is saying stunning tune. Ooh, yeah. I had to do a clearance. And so 2022, my year's free, mate. You know what I mean? I entered 22 on a high. The universe blessed me. He made my enemy. He spread a table before me in the presence of my enemies, family included. And the universe blessed me. And so it's all good. It's all good for me. I haven't got the time. I haven't got the energy. Do you know what? I have spent so much time in my life trying to caretake and carry and enable and rescue people at my health detriment. No more. No more. I'm done. And I'm doing that so that my energy can flow. I'm doing that so that my energy can be wild, can be free, so that I can express myself, so that I can live my truth, so that I can fulfill my purpose, so that I can be happy, so that I can have fun. I'm not accommodating. I'm not accommodating anyone who's got toxic energy. You keep it moving. You deal with your own sugar. I've got my own to deal with. You deal with your own sugar. However, if you want support and you're prepared to face your truth and your reality and keep it real, because a part of consciousness, and I asked that question on the base show last night, what does consciousness mean? Because a lot of us in our community, we like to play that, to throw in that word consciousness. Oh, I'm conscious. Oh, I'm conscious. Consciousness means, in the real sense of the word, is being self-aware, being in tune with self, being in touch with your emotions, being able to reflect and take an inventory and make the necessary changes in your life. Consciousness means being in tune with your feelings, with your intuition, with your bodily sensations, with your thinking, with your thought processes. Being conscious means allowing people to even, give you some advice and give you some feedback in terms of, who you are, how you're doing. And some of us, we've got so much pride and so much ego. I remember speaking to someone last year and they said to me that I actually recommended that they needed counseling because I saw some toxic behavior. And they said to me, oh, no, they don't need counseling. They're cool. They've actually, they've done their healing. And I'm looking at them. I'm thinking, really? You've done your healing and that's what you look like after doing your healing? Then guess what? You're deceived. But guess what? I left them to it. I just kept it moving. And I just said, goodbye. And I left them there because they're not my responsibility. And so, you need to be open for feedback, positive feedback from well-meaning people that can actually guide you. I mean, back in the day, we used to have our elders, extended family that used to support us. It takes a village to raise a child. And we used to rely on those, those important people in our lives. But the times that we're living in now, it's like these sort of people, this extended family is non-existent. And so what we got to do now is we have to safeguard our own selves. We need to safeguard our own selves, and we need to protect our energy. We need to protect our energy. You deserve it. As Marcia mentioned, you deserve it. And so, as we continue, and I asked you the question this morning, the highest form of energy on this planet is love. All energy vibrates at different levels, but love vibrates at the highest level, at the highest frequency. When our heart is open to the highest vibration, we start to attract love into our lives, and we start to attract other people and their experiences, and we vibrate on the same level. And so love is the highest level of frequency. Love is connected to our root chakra. And so if our root chakra is blocked, if our heart is blocked, then our energy ain't going to flow. If our heart chakra is blocked with envy and unforgiveness and hatred and jealousy, then guess what? Our energy is not going to flow, because love is the highest vibration. Love. And it attracts loving people, same-minded people into our lives. And yes, love should not hurt. And sometimes I question people who say they love me. Lots of people have said they love me. Family members, friends have said they love me. Yeah. And I question, because guess what? Even in your Bible that you read, these Christian people, that many of my family members are Christians, and lots of friends. And I say to them, because I'm not a Christian, I believe in certain bits of things, but I don't associate with that religion. And I say to them, your same Bible tell you that if you see your brother in need, how can you say you love them? And you close your hands to help them. How can you say you love them? How? And then even in your good book, it says, let us not love in word, but let us love in deed. So let us see your actions then. And so love definitely doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. And so if you're hurting each other this morning, then guess what? You're not of love. You're not of love. You are of hate. You are of darkness. You're not of love, because love doesn't hurt. Love is a vibrant emotion. And so this morning, I'm going to share a couple of tips this morning on how you can boost your energy. And so how you're going to boost your energy is by being assertive and enforcing your boundaries. So you've got to be assertive and enforce your boundaries. Learn how to say no to people who take you for granted. If you're not unable, or if you're naturally uncomfortable in doing something, then speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Don't cower in silence, and define and maintain your boundaries. So you need to speak up for yourself. A lot of people don't want us to speak up for ourselves. They want us to suppress our feelings. They want us to put up or shut up. They want us to tolerate their BS. Speak up for yourself this morning and set those, and not only set, define and maintain those boundaries. Maintain them. And so even if they come back to you, you should actually define those boundaries, and you should allow these people that come back to your life to prove themselves. That's what I do. If they said that, okay, they apologize and they said they're sorry, I said, okay, cool. You're sorry, cool. So I'm gonna, I'll see you outside. You're not coming to my house. I'm going to test you. Let's see how you are for at least a period of 6 months. Let me see if you really change. And if they haven't changed in 6 months, then goodbye. So you've got to test these people to see whether they really change, because maybe they want to come back to get something, or they want to come back to drain you more. So we've got to check people's agendas when they come to you, because some of their agendas is quite sinister. And so in order to boost your energies, we're giving you some practical tips this morning. You need to set those definitive boundaries. And in order to, we talked about how we're going to address that lack of energy. You know, we need to look at our emotional lives. And we need to take an inventory, and we've got to say to ourselves and determine to ourselves, okay, what can improve? What do I need to improve? What do I need to improve? How can I get healing here? How can I make things better for my mental health? Experts in nutrition, sports medicine, they all agree, and the majority agree, that our total energy is about 70% of us. And it's actually emotional and not physical. 70%. And can you see how important, how paramount, how crucial it is to safeguard our emotions, our energy, because 70% of it is actually emotional, which actually explains why we have a pandemic in terms of mental health in society today. It actually explains why there's an epidemic in terms of mental health, because 70% of our energy is actually emotional and not physical. And so this morning, it's so vital that we protect our mental health. Marcia saying, no more nonsense, too old for that at this stage of our lives. Absolutely. And I echo that, because that's what I've mentioned. I said, you know what? I haven't got the time. I've wasted so many. When you sort of like reflect, you've wasted decades tolerating this BS from people, friends, ex-associate, family members. Decades. This has been going on for decades. It's like a generational cycle of toxic behavior, and you've tolerated it. And like you, Marcia Riggs, I'm done. I was done. Last year, as I mentioned, 2021, I did an inventory. I said, okay, cool. I'm done. Carry on. Yeah, carry on. I'm keeping it moving. I did an inventory. I got rid of friends, family, ex-colleagues. I got rid. So my 2022 is good, man. It's clearance. I've started my 2022 on a good platform, on a clean canvas. And I'm being mindful of who I include in my inner circle. And so spiritual energy, people find ways to meet challenges. And so when you've done that clearance and you've allowed to boost your energy by setting those pertinent boundaries, not only setting and defining them, but maintaining them, and you maintain them for a period of time, then people that have this high energy are able to meet the challenges, and they continue to and continue to live this purposeful life, which is why I managed to continue, because I cleared them out. If I had carried them still into 2022, they would have finished me. And so we are able to bounce back and carry on with our purpose. Having a strong spiritual outlook may help you find meaning in life, in life's difficult circumstances. I'm a spiritual person, and that's what saved me, to be honest. My spirituality, my mindfulness practice, and the ability to actually listen and adhere to those inner tucks, that pulling, listening to my intuition, and not second guessing. And so 7 ways, we're going to go through the list. The show's going to be finishing at 11:30. We're going to go through 7 steps. If you want to take notes, or you can actually listen to the show, you can replay the show again and take notes again. Marcia's saying maintaining is the hard part. Don't look back. Absolutely. I'm talking from experience. We need to link up, Marcia. I can share some things and you'll be surprised. I think we're going through something quite similar. It's hard, yeah. It's difficult, but guess what? It's a must. It's crucial. It's fundamental. if we're going to safeguard our mental health. It's hard. It's difficult. I can't say it's easy. It's difficult. Rose is saying, wow, I'm actually smiling and crying. This is so helpful. Many blessings to you. I'm so glad that I can be of help because I'm speaking the truth. I'm not hiding. I'm not actually cooking up some show where I can get ratings or a fan base. I'm talking the truth here because there's a lot of us, including myself. We're going through a lot of BS. And it's good to sort of chat and share with people that can help, not just people that's listening to susu or carry come, bring come. No. But you see, even those people that you share and they do that, guess what? Karma's going to get them. They're going to get it back because guess what? Life's a cycle. What you put out is what's going to come back and smack you back in your face. Smack you back in your face. I want something good to smack me back in my face. Nothing negative, nothing toxic. Okay, so let's do some new. Let's take some notes now on what can actually safeguard our mental health. Okay, so 7 steps. 7 steps. So explore your spirituality. Marcia is saying, speak the truth and speak it ever, because it's what it is. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. I always speak the truth. And there's a lot of people don't like me because I speak the truth. I don't care because I like myself. I don't need you to like me. I actually like myself. Thank you. So I will speak the truth, irrespective of whether you like me or not. And so explore the spiritual core. By exploring your spiritual core, you are simply asking yourself the question, and we talked about this morning, about the person you are and your meaning. Look for deeper meaning. Ask yourself, why am I here? What is my purpose? That's number 2. Look for deeper meaning. We're not just sailing through life. We're here for a purpose. So ask yourself those deep questions. Practice self-awareness, consciousness. That's number 3. Mirror yourself and self-reflect. I keep a journal. I've got a law of attraction diary that I've shown you, that I've shown many of you. And I keep a journal. And I've got like a gratitude book that I keep. And I remember all the things that, that the universe has helped me with. And so that helps me to self-reflect. Self-reflect. I do that in my teaching practice. I do it in my coaching practice. Self-reflect. Very important, very crucial to self-reflect. Yeah, very crucial. That's number 3. So look at a deeper meaning. Ask yourself, why are you here? Practice self-awareness. Number 3. Mirror yourself. Self-reflect. Number 4. Protect your energy at all costs. Get rid of people who no longer serve you. Don't make you feel good about yourself. Get rid. So protect your energy at all costs. And sometimes we tolerate people that we know they don't make us feel good. And because we struggle with our low self-worth and our low self-esteem, we tolerate people. Get rid of them. They're no good for your self-worth. They're no good for your self-esteem. They're no good for your mental health. So protect your energy at all costs and get rid of people that no longer serve you. Don't make you feel good about yourself. Step number 5, get out with nature, socialize, meet your soul tribe. Your soul tribe is out there. Meet them, connect with them. Don't stay in isolation. And try yoga. Try some yoga. Yoga helps in terms of breathing and realignment and reflection. I went to yoga Thursday night. It was absolutely beautiful. And I felt good when I left because it was for me. No one was there. It was just me. I went there by myself and it was me time. And I was able to just focus and reflect and tune in to source energy. and reflect on my life, reflect on my present moment. And a part of boosting your energy and allowing your energy to flow is actually living in the present moment, living in the now, not living in the past. Angela A's, good morning to you. She's saying that she's watching on the replay. Not living in the past. Because if you live in the past, in the yesterdays, you're going to stay stuck. And all that past energy is going to follow you for 2022. There's lots of people that said, Happy New Year, my year's going to be great. It's going to be banging. It's not going to be banging if you're still carrying New Year's sugar. It's not going to be banging. You're going to have the same year as you had last year. That's what you're going to have. You're going to have the same year because you haven't made any changes. Change promotes growth. So if you want a different 2022, you've got to make the necessary changes in order for your 2022 to change. Otherwise, you're going to have a repeat of 2020. You're going to have a repeat of 2021. Master Riggs is saying, if you live in the past, it will consume you. Finish with that sugar. Absolutely, I've finished with it. Do you know, I'm not living in the past mistakes, past wrongs. Some people actually think that they're saints. A lot of people, including myself, we make poor choices and poor decisions, but what we need to do is learn from it. We become stuck when we don't learn from those poor choices. I've made so many poor choices. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm happy. I hold my hands up. But guess what? I've got to learn from them. And you who are pointing your finger have also made, equally, you have also made poor choices. So judge not. Judge not. Because you know how it goes. Judge and you shall be judged yourself. There's 4 fingers pointing back at you. And so it's very important that we live in the present moment. We live in the now and we face that reality. No matter how ugly or how painful that reality is, we live in the present moment. We live in that reality. We're not sort of worried about the future. We're not sort of stuck in the past. We're living in the now, right? The here and now. This is it. It is what it is. This is what it looks like. And we've got to face our demons, our skeletons. We've got to face it. This is it. Lots of people, they drink it away. They drug it away. They sex it away. They shop it away. They gamble it away because they don't want to face their reality because it's painful. It's hard. However, it is important that if you want to change your 2022, if you want your energy to flow differently in 2022, you need to start doing some inner shadow work and start taking an inventory. You know, make a list. Do a column. I did columns and I started to put certain people's names in these columns. That's what helped. And I started to say, okay, how do they make me feel? Something basic like that. And I started to list how these people made me feel. And if how they made me feel was negative, if that list was negative, yeah, I got rid of them. Got rid. Inner shadow work. Yeah, absolutely. We got to do it. So you turn the mirror on self. You're not blaming anyone. You turn the mirror on self. Inner shadow work. Because there's a reason why we were playing caretaker, why we were playing enabler and rescuer, is because we didn't love ourselves. We were suffering from self-hate. We were busy bodying, looking after other people outside. I learned that 10 years ago. I thought, I love myself. I ain't got self-hate. My counselor said to me, actually, no, you were struggling with self-hate. And when I had to do that inner shadow work, oh my God, it was ugly. But I had to do it. And I found out where I was going wrong. I found out that hook. My counselor was enabled me to pinpoint that hook. That hook that started that cycle. Because there's a reason why we're busy caretaking people. Because we're trying to escape self. And being conscious is being self-aware and asking yourself that question. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Start to love yourself and take rational selfishness of self. Honor yourself. Honor your feelings. Honor your intuition. Honor your thinking and your thoughts because they're right. And live in that present moment. Live in that present moment. Now, I'm a life coach. I'm an NLP certified coach. And if you want any support in terms of coaching and helping you to navigate in your 2022, then reach out. I've got a business called Altec. Reach out. I'm here to support you on your journey for 2022. Reach out on my social media platforms, and that I will be able to help you navigate. I'm actually doing a master's in psychology and mental health. I'm on my first year, and I'm doing that to support my business, support myself, support people out there. My God, people are struggling. I struggled. I'm still managing bullshit. Excuse my French, BS. I'm still managing it. I'm keeping it real here. Excuse me for swearing there. Oh, it came out. But I'm still managing BS. And that's what it's all about. But in managing my BS, I've defined my boundaries and I've maintained it. And it's hard. It's hard because it's family members, it's friends, it's associates. It's hard. It's not easy. I'm not telling you it's easy. It's hard. But I have to do it. We have to do it in order to safeguard our well-being. Or guess what? It's going to impact on our health. We're going to have bodily sensations. We're going to have health sensations. We're going to have emotional sensations. It's going to impact on our well-being. And our well-being, on spiritual show, it's so important that we safeguard our well-being at any cost, at any means necessary, if we at all are going to see 2022. If we are going to see the end of 2022, we've got to safeguard our mental, and it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, it's difficult, but if you love yourself enough, you're going to do it. If you love yourself enough, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And so this morning, thank you for joining me. I'm going to play another number. Thank you for joining me on the show this morning. If you've missed the show, do a replay. Thank you for joining me this morning. Have a great Sunday. I don't chase, I attract. All that I want falls right into my life. Like so abundant lady, I don't have to force nothing. Affirmations are good as well. Proclaim affirmations over your life. Positive affirmations, meditation and mindfulness. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me was simplified. And I'm activating all this God energy. Receiving upgrades in my sleep, prepping for my dreams. What I seek is seeking me, and I believe before I say it. I believe before I say it. I don't chase, I attract. Everything I want, I already got. On the inside, the extended full of spas. Many blessings. Knowing I trust, like so abundantly. All that I want falls right into my life. Like so abundantly. I don't have to force nothing. I don't have to force nothing. I won't stress over what wasn't meant for me. Cause as far as I can feel, I'm on my highest timeline. And everything makes sense in hindsight. Perfect timing, it's divine. And I'm playing with reality, transmuting energies inside of me. All of this is suddenly translates into higher realms, back into my free multi-dimensional being. I don't chase, I attract. Everything I want, I already got on the inside. The extended follows fast. I don't have to force nothing. I flow and I trust. I transmute and I transfer.
I command and thought frequencies down to my feet, something in reality.
Rewinding that one again. I don't chase, I attract. No need to chase people or chase family members. Universe will bring the right people to us. Woo!
And I believe before I see it. I believe before I see it.
Higher heights. Yep. Plop, plop.
Everything I want, I already got. On the inside, the external full of sparks. I don't have to force nothing, I flow and I trust. Like so abundantly, all that I want.
If you've missed the bass show yesterday, Lady Smurf show, it's on my page. Listen to it. It's high energy. It's a blast. We had fun last night, and you're going to see me again on Saturday and Sunday next week between the hours of 10 and 11:30. Join me again on the business show on a Saturday and the spiritual and well-being show on a Sunday. So have a blessed day. Have a blessed Sunday. Many blessings to you. Take care. I'm out.